Good evening, and welcome to our show 10 Minutes. I'm Brandon Peterson. Tonight we'll be interviewing Shirin Bazari and her integration into American culture.
My name is CECILIA MANDRUP, and we'll be talking to Shirin about Iranian culture and what it was like for her to come to the U.S. Along with that, we'll be discussing her transition from Iranian university to an American university. Join me as we meet Shirin. Hi Shirin, thank you so much for joining us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Shirin. I'm from Iran and I'm studying international studies here in Whitewater.
And when did you come to the U.S.?
I moved here last August, so it's been a year and a half almost.
Okay, interesting. So what are the main differences between an Iranian university and an American university?
Well, Iranian universities, some of them we do have like big campuses like here, but mostly they're just buildings according to the majors. Each major have their own building, and that's how they're specified. But I think it's more wide and free here in the American universities than it is the environment-wise in Iran. So it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So.
Which brings me to my next question, which is, what made you come to the U.S. and study?
Well, my major was political science back in Iran, and that's not the best major for the country. You want to study there? So I was always wanted to get out of the country to study, to have more opportunities for my major. So I decided to move to U.S., and here I am today.
And going on to a different topic, I know that you somewhat find it problematic that American students don't differ between Arabic and Persian culture. Would you like to explain some of the, for you, important differences?
Well, back in history, Iran and Arabs, there were some mutual land between them. That's why people still think we live in the same place, we are the same. But the only thing that we have in common is Quran, a religious book, which is written in Arabic, but Iranians do not speak Arabic, we do not write Arabic. We have the same letters almost, but that's one huge difference. There are religious differences, even though we're Muslims, we are different Muslims with each other. And those things are huge. Iranians do not like to be called Arabs at all. And I don't think Arabs have the same things too. They have the same feelings. So we have borders from each other. Iran is not Iraq, even though we share a border. And we've been in the wars with them for 8 years, like 30 years ago. So there is no mutual thing between them, even though we share a religious book. That's it.
And so, religion-wise, that's the difference between the Shia and the Sunni Muslims, right?
Yeah, most of the Arabs, they are Sunnis. They are a minority of Shias between them, but the majority are Sunnis in their culture. But in Iran, the majority are Shia. So that's a huge difference because they believe in different prophets. That's how the Sunni and Shia are different from each other. So.
And going off religion, I know that some of the issues we've been talking about in our class is what it's like to be a female in a Muslim country. Would you like to talk about what it was like growing up as a female in Iran?
Yeah, well, first the thing is a lot of people think we all wear black and we cover our faces. That's true for really religious people and mostly in Arab country, but in Iran, even though we're still not considered, they don't consider women as strong people in the country, still women try to show themselves out in the society. They try to be recognized and fight for their freedom, even though it's harder since we need to have the hijab on all the times. It's something forced on the women in the country, but I think most of us learn how to live with it. Since you're born, you try to make it your own way. You won't do the religious way or the traditional way. So now the new generation is trying to make it their own. So they use that. They say, okay, we have it, but they use it their own.
And so talking about some of these misconceptions and ideas Americans have about Iranians, I'm inclined to ask you, did you have any ideas about Americans and have those ideas changed in any way?
Well, I think when you come from a country is known as a third world country, people usually there know more about outside countries like Western countries, America, Europe. They know more than than the people live in these countries. So because we need to educate ourselves, even though we don't have the tools to do it, we do it ourselves. We listen to news, and I did have a good perception of like the society, what would it be like. But it sure was some difference that I see. It was different from what I thought it would be. But I think that's normal. You cannot, you think you know something, but that doesn't happen all the time.
And now I'd like to introduce you to Mackenzie Groves, my co-host, who will be interviewing Shirin.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Groves, and I'll be taking over the rest of the interview. So, Shirin, do you see yourself moving back to Iran?
Just for visiting, not moving back, living there, no.
Oh, so do you think there'll be any struggles? Do you think it'll be any harder to stay here?
I think moving back will be harder than facing the challenges here. So I decided not to move back home anytime soon. So.
What does your family think of it? Are they okay with that?
Well, it's not like they're not 100% okay with it, but we'll try to make it work.
How do you express being Iranian here in the States?
Well, I think it's different than being home around your people. All the holidays here, Christmas, Thanksgiving, everything, I did celebrate them last year. It was my first year. I wanted to experience the whole thing because it's all about family coming together. But I felt since I don't have my family here, it wasn't that easy. So this year I didn't go to any Thanksgiving or anything. I wanted to do my holidays and my traditions back at home here. So that's what I'm sticking to this year. And food is a lot different, way different from back home. Trying to get used to it, bring my own food a little bit, and just adjusting to the system. So,
what do you do for growing up? Like sports, birthdays, stuff like that?
Well, back at home, I used to play basketball a lot throughout high school. But by the time I was in the university, it was too much studying, too much work, couldn't catch up. But yeah, partying, we had our own parties, even though it's hard to believe. People don't think we do that in Iran. We have it inside the houses. Everything's normal like here, except here you go out, celebrate. We do it inside our homes. And it's practically the same. You hang out with your friends, do activities with them, your family. We do the same things, but maybe in a different way.
Okay. So what do you miss the most with your family and friends?
Well, I think not having your friends, childhood friends, and your family, it's hard, especially throughout holidays here, which everyone goes with their families. That's the part that strikes you the most here. And food, of course, who doesn't miss their family food and their mom's cooking? And yeah, but music, like, you can listen to it anyways. But I think, like, the holidays when the family come together, that's like that's a time here I miss a lot back home. Wanted to be with my family at our holidays. So,
have you dealt with any prejudices and stereotypes?
Yes, I have.
Like what?
Well, I mean, I was expecting it since I'm coming from a country that's on the news constantly because of their political issues. But and I was ready for it. But there have been a couple of them, but I think I dealt with them good, and it's normal. Everywhere you go, you will deal with some things like that. So it's not only here.
What do you think we can learn from your culture?
I think my country comes from a really rich history and background, even though right now, like, we will not see it anymore. So I think that how we respect each other in a family, and I think for me, that's the main thing, that we do, like our respect and love in the family. I'm pretty sure it's everywhere, and you guys have it here in the U.S. too. But one thing for me was different was the university, the people, the way they act in the classrooms. Here was shock to me, and like I really think, even though I might not like it that much back home, but I think our university system was way better inside the classrooms, how the students behave towards a professor.
What's something that happened? Like, what is the big shock?
Well,
that
I
you
think
liked
that
more?
I think we have back home we have more respect for the professors than students do here.
Okay.
And the way they talk to the professors or their behaviors within the classrooms are way different back home. So I think for me that was a huge, it was a surprise for me. So I think here there are like more like type of friends, like they have this, which is good. You're easy with your professor, you can connect with your professor, but sometimes I feel not everyone, but there are parts in this classrooms that you see people don't have the respect for the class or the professor.
So what about relationships with family and friends? Are those much different like they are with the professors?
I think you could, but there are families here that are the same. But it's everywhere. There's families that are similar to us, and there's some that are not. So I think I have more in common with my family back home. Like, even though I have family here, cousin, but I cannot connect with him. So because he was born and raised in the United States, we cannot have a connection with each other, even though we're family.
So you think they're all equally different?
Yeah.
So in closing, is there anything you want everyone to know?
Yeah, I think the most thing that is important to me is that not everything you hear in the news, it's what's going on in the country, and it doesn't specify the country because you hear it on the news. So what I wish is that you look at from the other perspectives rather than the news, and just that's what I'm hoping for. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Groves.
Hi, my name is CECILIA MANDRUP.
And I'm Brandon Peterson, and that was 10 minutes. Thank you for watching.